today. Time for truth, time for change, time for justice. Truthing with Hanaia and Fatou.
Hello, humans. I'm Fatou.
And I'm Holly, normally, but on Sundays, I'm Hanaia the Goddess. And welcome to our segment, formerly known as Healing with Hanaia and Fatou. Now it's just Truthin' with Hanaia and Fatou, which still includes the healing for your black asses.
Yeah, it's just a little addedness to it.
Okay. Y'all, how we doing on this Sunday? How we doing? We doing all right today?
I'm good. I was doing homework this morning. I have assignments that's due at 7 in the morning.
Oh Lord. See now, and I'm going back to college too, so that makes I'm not ready for all those debt.
Well,
but then again,
but it's only like this because it is a mini master. So you're taking 5 months and you're squeezing it into 5 weeks, So the English is not that bad because we know when those deadlines are and those assignments are due to us. Hi, Nikisha.
Hi, good morning.
However, it's the history. History is what is difficult. Super. I'm very happy to be learning and relearning some things. But like the assignments that were due yesterday at midnight, and you would think that we would already know what our assignments are for next week, but they're not accessible to us. And so I don't know if they're going to be accessible today, tomorrow, just like last week when I told you she dropped those assignments for us, those discussions. It was 5 discussions. And it's not like you just read something and you write. Our discussions have to be 500 words. At minimum 500 words, and then you have to read somebody else's 500 words and then respond to that. But you're reading different articles, 2 chapters of the book, different articles, and watching YouTube videos. And some of them are, I think the least amount was like 10 minutes. The most was 45 minutes. And then you write the discussion. But she didn't release make those available to us until Wednesday afternoon, and they were due Saturday night at midnight. So
these college professors have to do better. How can you do that to overwhelmed adults that already have a lot on their plate? Miss Nikisha said work, but worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, I understand. But last semester when I had that class, there were clear deadlines. And the work was available to us, but it gets us ready also for real world, because sometimes when you're on your job, I've been in the workforce and everybody else has as well, where you may get something on Thursday morning and it's a whole, budget something or another, and then it's due by the end of the day. So it forces you to, so it's kind of forcing you to get ready for that. And so it's not a complaint that I say how much I have to do. It's an annoyance that, we have a short period of time of 5 weeks. Work with us here. This is not a real semester-ish.
Okay.
But like I said yesterday, once I get through the end of this, like when I get on the other side and I pass these classes, then you can't tell me shit. You couldn't tell me shit before, but really you can't tell me shit. So. It's making my seasoned brain work, and I appreciate that. So,
Lowry's.
Yeah, slap your mama's. Yeah, thank you.
I love it. So we're gonna get into a few subjects for today. So Miss Carly Russell of Hoover, Alabama, went missing on Thursday night, July 13th. Today's the 16th. She was found last night. So she was missing for 48 hours, literally. I'm actually going to play a clip, and we're going to bring this up for two different reasons. Reason one, to show 2 points, because Miss Fatu made she made a good point about this. One point is to show the lack of people caring, and then another point to show that you also have to be safe in like situations like this as well. So we're gonna go ahead and present a video from TikTok. And this is the video footage allegedly of Carly Russell's car and her allegedly seeing the child on the road. So give me 1 second here to bring that up for you guys.
And it's a conspiracy page, right?
Yeah.
When you play, okay.
And also take the child with them, and we don't see that kind of movement on the camera. If you look closely, you can see Carly go around her car, and apparently she is talking to a child. Isn't it kind of strange that there is so many passing cars, yet no one else reported the child alone on the interstate?
Yeah.
Also, according to a family member who was on the phone with Carly, heard her scream. In the blurry security footage, there doesn't seem to be that much movement. It kind of seems like she vanished out of thin air. We should be able to see movement from at least 3 people. If they used a toddler, do you think the toddler would be able to flee the scene by themselves and without being detected on the camera? An adult would need to call the child to follow. How were they able to focus on the child and also dragging away a woman? This story just doesn't add up. Feel free to leave your conspiracies in the comments because anything is possible in this scenario. Was that even Carly getting out of the car? So many unanswered questions. We just hope Carly Russell returns home safely.
And this video was made before, just to clarify, this video was created before she was found, guys. She has been found safe.
Thankfully.
Yeah, right. I mean, that footage is it's just ridiculous.
But also, let me say that if a toddler is in someone's custody, that's just like your kids know you, correct?
Right.
So no one would have to coax a child to come to them if they know them. A toddler. Right. All they have to do say is come, and they know. Also, if they live in that particular area and they could practice. I mean, toddlers are sponges. You can teach them to go and come and go and come. So a lot of the things that they're pointing out there doesn't mean that the story was fake or falsified. Also, another thing, I know we talked about off camera about how people may have seen the car, may have seen the toddler. They could have thought that the toddler was her. So why would they call and say there's a random toddler on the road when it could have been her toddler? But they're not stopping because it could also be a ruse, even if they did see that child. A lot of people are not paying attention to when they drive as well. And I forgot to say that. They're not paying attention to the sides and who's on the side of the road. They're jamming their music. Some people are half asleep. Some people are drunk. Some people are high. Some people are so stressed out that they have those moments where you're driving to your destination and you do not remember how you got there. I've had plenty of those days where you're so into your thoughts and what you are going on that you are alert enough to pay attention to the car in front of you. See you in a minute. That you don't know. I mean, you can see you have enough alertness within you to see whether a car is in front of you and stopping or on the side of you, but you're not paying attention to the sides. How many times have you driven and you've been that route forever? And then you finally notice something on the side of the road that's been there for a long time, but you've never paid attention to it because you're not paying attention to the outer surroundings. You're just paying attention to what's in your lane. Yeah. There's so many variables. There's so many possibilities that you can't just say, because you can't say that people are subhumans and they don't care about whatever and they're desensitized, or they're trying to make sure that they're safe and they're not caught in the ruse. There's unless you stop every last one of those vehicles who were driving and ask them why they didn't stop, you cannot make an assumption about somebody.
True that. I completely agree. And let's talk about the ruse part.
Hey. Hi, Dale.
Um, let's talk about the ruse part. Now,
Mhm.
there is a conspiracy saying that the child that was, um, thank you, brother, we appreciate that. Um, that there was a child being used to like lure
Mhm.
unsuspecting people. Now, as a person that believes in certain conspiracies, I feel like there's like maybe like a sprinkle of truth to that because people are
Mhm.
fucking crazy, y'all.
Mhm. Yes, there's no limit to what people can think of to entrap people and harm them. There's no limit. And using a child is not absurd. Back in the 80s, it was leaving the car seat on the side of the road. There's just always something. You could be at the gas station and somebody's trying to make you smell some perfume that they have now laced with something. So then they follow you until you pass out. It's never ending. So you can't really say that even if that was her and her child, she could be the ringleader of taking somebody, whoever stopped. You just
Hmm.
never ever know. And that's why I was saying, I know that if I'm in my car alone and I'm driving, um, and I see it, I will call 911 and say, hey, there's somebody stranded, da 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 da.
Hmm.
And I would stop, but not anywhere where they could easily get to me. And I would not be
Right.
on the same side because I would need to be able to pay attention in my side and review mirrors to make sure that I'm okay while making sure that somebody else is okay. And that's just the way of life nowadays. Everybody is out to hurt somebody. And there's not that many good Samaritans in life.
No, there is not. That's actually interesting. You're talking about good people and all this other stuff. So the next video I'm actually about to play is courtesy of Ace Metaphor. I think you know him because we both
Hmm.
love him dearly. Now this part is for the brothers. Now,
Okay.
brothers, I love you guys so much. Okay, this is why I have to show you guys this because it's time. It's time. So this situation is based off the Kiki Palmer and her baby daddy situation.
Hmm.
So fellas, please listen with your heart. Don't listen with ignorance. Listen with your heart.
Or how about what I like to say, listen with the intent to respond to what I'm saying, not
Yes,
just listen to respond.
that part.
Hmm.
They need to act like moms and act like wives. It's the same men that are silent as when it's time to tell men to act like fathers and husbands. Your boy ain't seen his kids in 6 months. Are you telling him to go act like a mother father? Why don't you tell your boys to act like a husband instead of habitually women, misusing them, breaking their hearts, giving them children and not taking care of them? Why don't you tell them to act like a husband and go find a wife and settle down? If you do not check your men the same way you get on the internet trying to check these women, then shut the up. Go act like a mom. You need to be dressing this way. What you mean you going out with your girls? Tell your to act like a father then. Y'all up in arms about Kiki Palmer dressing a certain way, but silent as on all the that ain't taking care of their kids. It's amazing how men are hyper focused on this word accountability, be silent as on their friends, acting a mother fool out of here.
I agree. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like in this in this day and age, um, a lot of men, a lot of us, period, as humans, need
Hmm.
therapy, right?
Right.
And therapy doesn't mean, I mean, yes, go talk to someone, but therapy could mean journaling. Therapy could mean talking to your homeboy, your parent, whoever it is. You need to get whatever it is that's making you hate other people, and try to project your hurtness onto other people needs to stop. That's number one. Number two, a lot of men don't like women. They just don't. It's women
Oh
are for
yeah.
their some of their pleasure and to create life to make them feel like a man, or carry their seed. Um, Insecurities. There's a lot that goes into it, but I also feel like people who get on the internet and argue back and forth about what women should do are putting that out there because they don't want you to know their fucked up ways. It's ridiculous. She could have been out there butt naked with pasties on and a G-string. Who knows? If that's her prerogative, if that's how she wants to dress. Just like men could walk around in a thong on with no shirt. That's how he wants to dress. If that person is comfortable, then that person is comfortable. It doesn't matter if they have a child or they don't have a child.
Exactly.
There's no written rule. We're all living in a social construct, right? So there is no written rule about how we should behave. There are, to a certain degree, but as long as I'm not killing, I'm not stealing, I'm not raping, I'm not doing anything to hurt another individual, what does it matter?
Exactly.
And the women that are also on her case about what she had on are either jealous because she had it on and she looked bomb, or their man is looking at them. Because they too should be able to wear what they want to wear. Just because you have kids don't mean that you have to cover up and wear a smock all the time. It's what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody else at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But insecurities flow back and forth between the men and the women. Absolutely.
For sure. For sure. Now, as far as what I have done, what Keke Palmer have did, no. And that's just me. But I'm all for her and showing off her post mom bod. You know, her being confident after having a baby. That's what I respected. The confidence of after having a child, I can still be sexy. And that's what I didn't appreciate about the baby daddy. I'm like, you posted a video of her twerking after she had the baby, and then you're mad because she's being serenaded by Usher. When you I mean, I don't know. I guess,
but
what is it called? A double standard?
To feel how he wants to feel.
True. That's
He's
true.
entitled to feel, because we can't tell somebody else how they should and should not feel. He's entitled to that. What he should not have done was try to blast her online.
That's true. Yep.
That's where I'm like, that's problematic, because you weren't having a problem when you were posting her twerking half naked or in a bikini. Look what my son gave her. But now that she's posting or somebody else is posting, is it about control? Like, you want to control what people see and you want to control the narrative? Are you feeling insecure because that's Usher and you think that he has a leg up on you with your woman? But say that you have my phone number. You could have called me, you could have texted me, you could have shot me a fucking email, you could have sent a smoke signal. You did not have to put it online and say you're a mom, especially when people can pull receipts of you half naked, posting yourself in your underwear online. The same rules apply. It's the double standard that irks the hell out of me.
And that stigma needs to be broken too. There was a situation that happened. Speaking of double standards, I forget what it was. I don't really know these. I don't know these young cats like that. So please forgive me, audience. It was a picture of like Lil Uzi Vert or something like that with Ice Spice or some shit like that. And I guess Lil Uzi Vert's dating JT. And shout out to JT because she's my birthday twin. We were born the same day, same year. And, you know, so everybody was talking about, oh, if that was me, I would have. And what was the comparison? Oh, and then Keke Palmer being serenaded by Usher. And then the women are like, oh, that's okay. And blah, blah, blah. I feel like that's also kind of like a double standard, too, because like it just.
So she was talking to him or what was going on?
She just took a picture with Lil Uzi Vert, and you know, women were blowing up about, oh, I wouldn't have allowed my man to do that with you know, take a picture with that woman, and then but yet women are hyping Keke for being serenaded by Usher. I just feel like there's like a double standard.
It's also people have their moment of being young-minded, and life will teach you how to how is it similar this to you know what? And in all honesty, you know, I get that they wanted to put their business out there, but some shit needs to stay in your house. It needs to stay in your house. There, I mean, sharing is caring to a certain degree. Sharing, I mean, but also, is it clickbait that y'all shared that? Because who really wanted to know that information? But also, I do have to say that I'm a little special in the fact that if it's not paying my bills, I'm not giving all of my energy to it.
There it is.
And I feel like a lot of people need to live real life and not be on social media so much.
That's true.
I'm not going to argue with you in the comments if you don't know me well enough to have my phone number. And even then, I don't really care about your opinion on certain things. But I do feel that most times, Jada could be extremely detached and disrespectful to her husband.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
Whether I'm sorry, in partnership or however they like to say what they are, but there's a level of respect that you should have, and doing talking about certain things should be in house and not really blasted in public.
No, I definitely agree. There's no way that we should have known that Jada was fucking August Alsina.
Not unless if charges were brought about and people wanted to put that out there, that's one thing. But I mean, why do we care?
Exactly. So can I just random. So we have someone new watching Morning Mimosas, Dale, and then I just realized that his last name backwards is Dale. That was just like it was just a moment. I was just reading that. I was like Dale, and then it's Dale backwards. That's dope. Just shout out to you, Dale, because that's
Dale Elad.
Which is Dale Elad backwards. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Good job." Woo. Okay, y'all. Sorry for that tangent. Literally, that was the moment. I was just staring too, but no, seriously. And then the whole slapping Chris Rock thing. Like no, and then this is gonna sound very or whatever. It's gonna sound like something. Don't Chris Rock, he may or may not have went too far with that joke. But Will, the fact that you can go up to another man and slap that man knowing what and I'm saying this respectfully, knowing what your bitch does.
It's not just that. The fact that
Right.
she laughed about it as well. He may have been triggered. That could have all been a setup for him to sell more tickets. There's a lot of variables that go into that, but also it's a time and a place. If you really felt that way, take that shit backstage.
Mm-hmm. Or, in West Philadelphia, where he was born and raised, where the playground where he spent most of his days, you feel me? He ran away from a fight, right?
Right.
Why didn't he just meet him at that same park where he ran from them dudes all them years ago? Just meet. Child.
They needed to spice something up, and unfortunately, used two of our black men instead of supporting one another, tore one another down horribly in front of whomever was watching the show at that time. And then the internet got a hold of it, and we all know the history of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That slap was definitely more.
Yeah. Because by that time, they'd already done the red table talk and people was going ham,
Mm-hmm.
The emasculation is beyond huge that happens in that relationship.
Yeah. And just speaking on what Dale just said, that slap was definitely deeper.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely deeper than that. I guess he was just tired of being Little Willie.
Yeah, basically. Being belittled. Yeah. People when enough is enough, enough is enough.
True that. So true.
And unfortunately, it just happened in a room full of people and many thousands and gazillion televisions.
So we're gonna take a commercial break here. After we discuss this, so I stopped watching the BET Awards a long time ago, right? Um, but they were talking about since Tyler Perry bought BET, they said that the BET Awards was like somebody said it was like the EBT Awards. Um, and I saw clips and stuff from that award show, and I was like, damn, like, do we have to be? I mean, I'm just gonna say, do we have to be niggas all the time?
Some people,
Do
yes.
we? Okay.
Some people, yes. I actually don't. I haven't watched BET in years.
Me too.
I am of the Donnie Simpson 106 in Park era, and Teen Summit. And then once that went away, and all of these other bullshit start coming along, I stopped watching it. I actually call it the Coonery Station.
Okay.
So I haven't watched it in years. But then also, the only TV that I really do watch is the ID channel on a consistent basis. It's always murder mysteries.
Same.
Yeah.
Same here. It's actually really interesting that you mentioned that. So I'm actually going to say this to you out loud on live. I didn't talk to you about this, so I actually called you last night to talk to you about. I was watching a YouTube video of this girl. Her name was Tomaline Jones. She went missing April of 2002. I found one of her friends yesterday. And if the Jones family can hear me, I really want you guys to come on our show to talk about her story.
Mm-hmm.
She was a young mom who went missing 21 years ago.
Her child's an adult. Grew up without the parent. Okay. Listen, you know how I feel about a lot of the missing persons, sex trafficking, murder, and I also believe that some of our law enforcement people are either they are involved or they know.
Oh yeah,
And they don't care. It's one of the things that for me that's encouraging about watching the ID channel is seeing detectives that are really actually in the job to do the work and bring closure to families. And there's not that many.
No.
Whether they're on the ID channel or not, there's too many people missing, too many unsolved missing people and murders and just crimes that don't get solved for there to actually be people who actually care and want to bring people to justice and give families closure.
Yeah. That's a big issue that I have, not just with law enforcement, but other races in general. And I'm gonna go ahead and speak to I'm gonna speak to my race first because I have to speak to my Black people first. For us, for these cases to get solved, y'all, you guys have to speak up. You guys should have known that this was coming because, as you guys know, I lost my firstborn almost 15 years ago, and tomorrow is her 15th birthday, or would have been her 15th birthday, and her case is unsolved as well. So I need people to start speaking up. Like I need our community to stop the bullshit of keeping quiet. I understand people's safety and concern and all that other bullshit, but I'm calling bullshit because while you're holding on to this information, there's a family suffering. A mother who doesn't have a child, or a father who doesn't have a child, or a grandmother who was raising her grandbaby doesn't have that grandbaby no more. A child doesn't have a mother, and you guys just sit here and are quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, What is up with the selfishness that our community has? We need to dead that selfishness, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in really
No.
quick. We need to dead that selfishness, y'all.
Mhm.
I'm tired of y'all being fucking selfish. Open your fucking mouths and start saying shit. Okay? These cases are not solved because y'all want to be mute. Y'all ain't Helen Keller. Okay? Y'all, while y'all Helen Keller, y'all they hella killing. How about that?
Mhm.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to go in for a second because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that mentality. Like y'all need to fucking
But
speak
the
up.
mentality has been passed down from generation to generation to generation from slavery.
It needs to be broken.
We need a lot of rebranding our race, so to speak, when it comes to certain things. Because niches, end up in ditches, is not something that any new generation has brought about. It's whether it's for safety reasons, and it's not really. It's easy for certain people to say something because they would, right? Um, but if you have to live in the community where things are happening and you do want to tell and there's going to be retaliation, some people are literally scared of that. Some people are cowards. And that's just, it is what it is. They're cowards. Sometimes you don't know if it's really as bad as it's going to be if you don't speak up. And when it happens to your family member, you then don't get a choice to be sad because no information is coming forward when you were sitting on information that could have helped another family.
There it
Like
is.
it's a whole cycle. It's almost like when you say don't vote, when I'm not going to vote, my vote don't count. But then you complain about the laws or the harsh punishments that these judges are handing down. But if you would have voted in your community, you could have gotten someone in here there who would not have done such things. So it's always, easier to say, and it's easy to be a coward, right? It's easy to go along. It's easy to be a sheep. It's hard to put forth effort. It's hard to say, I know that so and so killed so and so because I saw it. That's hard for some people, and I can understand that. I just don't respect it.
There it is. But here's also the thing about that too. We're gonna go on a commercial break because I need to relax. We have not taken out one. We have been on it today.
Yeah.
We will be right back, y'all. Action Financial Services, business and financial consultants. Meet the owner, Miss Natasha Jackson. Take a look at her services here if you need any kind of financial assistance, whether tax preparation, financial planning, starting up a business, bookkeeping. Do you need a notary or anything of that sort? Take a look at the services listed here. Look, everyone, they have a special offer going on, 50% off. Take a look at the services listed here. Action Financial Services. Get in touch with them for your financial and business needs.
We're black.
Yeah, and getting darker with this heat.
That's for damn sure.
Like, ooh, wait, like, I'm sorry, like, does it look like I want to be like Michael Blackson?
Listen,
I can't get G with this shit.
Well, that's also, I wouldn't mind being darker. It doesn't fade me. As a kid, I always wanted to be darker than what I was because I think that the darkness is beauty. But that is kind of my personality, is things that are dark I love. So
That is true. That is what you are, even though you're a light in my life. But it's all good. I'm gonna go ahead and present the last video, and this is just more so like a realization of us moms, more like our reality of what we go through on a regular basis. So this is also from TikTok. Y'all know I share from. Shout out to TikTok. Yeah,
I like the
that's
videos where I find them funny now that I'm kind of on the other side of it, kind of, where you try to enjoy a snack and you got to hide to enjoy your snack because a toddler can be dead ass asleep and hear a crumble, and before it hits your mouth, they're looking at you like, some,
Mhm.
some, oh, and some, no. But I go through that honestly, even in the middle of the night, with my pup. Even now, I can't. There's always the begging eyes, always, always. But yes, you always sharing. Um, that's how women normally lose themselves because they never get anything for themselves. You don't get time. You very rarely. I mean, unless you maliciously take it, you do not get time for yourself, and then you lose who you are, and then you become bitter until they
I
leave
almost
the house, and then you go berserk like you're a teenager getting out the house for the first time again. But that's why having a village is very important, honestly, because it gives you an outlet, you know, someone to talk to, someone. I mean, I just remember being on maternity leave, and I could never be a stay-at-home mom. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I would burn the house down
oh.
because you have to think about it. Unless you build a village of other stay-at-home moms that you talk to, you're just at home with the little people, and up to a certain time, these little people don't hold real conversations with you, and so
That's
you
true.
start to go stir crazy, right?
A little bit.
So like there has to be some type of village hopefully in place so that you don't lose your mind of not having real life conversations. Then you get on the internet and be having conversation with these people that you don't know, that be crazy and offhanded, and you get sucked into something, you know, looking for a connection. I would burn the house down.
Okay. Okay, left eye.
Shut up. Leave my girl alone. RIP.
I love. Oh God, come on, you know. I love Lisa. That was my girl when I was growing up. It's really interesting. That story about her. She wasn't even trying to burn his house down. She was just trying to burn his sneakers, and it got out of hand.
As life does, as things will. That's why you have to think 3 times sometimes before you do something, because you don't know. In a split second, you can lose your life or your freedom.
Okay. Okay.
But it takes
So,
a level of maturity to get there, because we've all had our moments of I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
okay. I know I have those almost every day. So y'all, if you guys are new to the page, which I know a lot of you guys are, this is our morning mimosa segment called Truthing with Hanaia and Fatu. And in September, that also includes this segment as well. Morning Mimosas and Truthing with Hanaia and Fatu will be doing our true crime series. So that'll be every Saturday and every other Sunday that month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you have a story of a loved one that you guys want us to tell, please send us an email, DM the page, and we will do our best to do your family justice or try to get your family justice. There's already one story that I'm going to mention a little bit. It'll be our first one just to give you guys, just
Sneak peeks.
sneak peeks of stuff. I forgot when is the first Saturday in September anyway.
I want to say
Mm,
it's not the 9th. I don't remember.
the second. Um,
Why did I think it started in the middle of the week? So then it would be that early. Never mind.
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with my brain. I'm tired.
Okay, but that made me laugh, y'all. So the first story that we're gonna do is of a young lady. Her name is Aisha Degree. Um, she went missing Valentine's Day, 2000, in Shelby, North Carolina. Um, Her story is a complicated one for me and Fatu, and maybe everybody else who is invested in stories like this. Um, me and Fatu looked at the map of the distance because the little girl was traveling to school that day. Um, and I looked at the distance from where her home was into the school, and I asked myself, I'm like, I'm not blaming the parents. Let's not blame the parents. They've already gone through enough in these last 23 years.
Mhm.
But my concern is, why was a 9-year-old child walking to school and the school is 5 miles away?
Do we know what was going on at the school that made her so eager? Because I couldn't imagine that this was an everyday occurrence.
No, it wasn't. And I'm really glad you said that. Let me actually bring that up really quick.
Because, sometimes you know that there's going to be something to look forward to that day, whatever you are interested in. And maybe she was just really, and there's just some things that are really unexplainable. It was just time. Everybody has a time in their life to experience whatever it is they're going to experience and their expiration date. So
but at
it,
9 years
just,
old, but at 9, no, that's so young. She was a baby. And she's technically, if she was still alive, she'd be older than me. So I don't
yeah.
know. But
It's very disheartening and frustrating at the same time. Talk about nobody stopping to see what was going on.
just like
See how I
like
just full circled it? Yeah. But we'll get more into it on our day of. But there's so many questions, so many why, so many what the hell, It's just, I don't know. It's just heartbreaking. Extremely heartbreaking. 9 years old.
I don't know. According to, so like I said, we're gonna, on September 2nd is when we're gonna do her full story. So please stay tuned for that. But just to give you guys a little bit of what happened, it was in the early morning hours for reasons unknown. She picked up her book bag and then she left her home and then began walking along Highway 18, that's in Shelby, North Carolina, despite it having a heavy rain and wind that morning. That's another thing that's suspicious. This 9-year-old girl was walking on a highway despite heavy rain and wind. And it says that several motorists saw her. Okay. And then one turned around at some point when they were about 1.25 miles away from her home. And then they began to approach her. And I guess she ran into a wooded area. But I'm like, that don't sound right to me. But I don't know. The thing that also makes me upset, her backpack, still packed, was found on that same highway 18 months later.
Couldn't have been in the same area.
It was on that highway.
I mean, like the same area that they were searching, because if they really did their due diligence, and searched it, they would have found it before 18 months. So that sounds like it was placed there after the fact.
Oh, so it says it was unearthed, and if unearthed is correct, that means they
They buried it.
they buried it. Yep. So they digged it up and found it 18 months later because they were doing construction.
So what else did they
And
find that they didn't tell us about? Because nobody is. It's
September 2nd, y'all. Pay attention. It's like me and Miss Fatu. There's gonna be obviously Lily. Shout out to Lily B. Thank you.
in the
Love
place.
you, girl. We're gonna get deep. We're gonna get deeper into that because a lot of these stories just don't make any sense. Including Carly Russell's. We're gonna circle back to that from the beginning, and then we're gonna close off by talking about my daughter a little bit. I want to know what truly happened to her in that 48 hours. I want to know who took her. Where did they find her at? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would like to know all of these things as well. But before that, I really would like for her to be well taken care of.
yes.
Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, no matter what the state, no matter what happened. And I want her to be okay before she comes out and answers the questions, because people are assholes and they have already said at some point that this didn't happen. And it's amazing how people who weren't there can tell you exactly what happened. So
Okay.
for her to be mentally sound before she tells whatever it is that she's going to tell, because the world is waiting to eat her alive.
That's what I think is really, really fucked up about these situations. So this is me now transitioning into the conversation of my firstborn. People didn't believe me either. People didn't believe me either until another girl had a similar story as mine. That's when people started to believe me.
When you
Is when
say
they heard
people, we mean like the in law enforcement, or just any and
no,
everybody?
any and everybody.
Okay. Depending
It's just
on what you look like, people don't believe you initially anyway. You know how people do us. It's not it's guilty until you can prove that you're not.
true that.
You know. But where there was no, I'm sure, no sensitivity. It was straight callous. And in a world where majority of people believe that Black people in general do not experience any type of mental anguish, pain, physical, mental, any of that, how things are handled is ridiculous. And just in the little small tidbits of the conversations that we have had and things that I have heard, it was straight callous. It is what you get. Do better type of situation. This is what you deserved. And it's not what anybody deserves.
My baby was the most innocent person in the world. But it was because of my actions and the lifestyle that I chose to do. So I take responsibility for that.
Why?
And because I mean, you guys know my story a little bit. I had no business hoeing in the streets.
So that means that your child deserved to die?
No, I'm saying I'm taking responsibility for my lifestyle.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
being a contributing factor.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because I feel like you made a very adult decision in what you were going to get, and you asked someone to help, and those someones are horrible human beings at this point. Because what was the for why? What was the whole reason behind that?
I think a part of it was because, and I don't know if this is a guilty conscience for me, but when I was pregnant with her, I didn't want her, um, and I drank my whole pregnancy trying to get rid of her. Um, and when I had her, I loved her, but I felt like it was my karma because I didn't want her initially.
I get that. A lot of parents get that. It doesn't matter how a child is made. Sometimes that is and can be, a possibility. Um, but as far as you knew, she was healthy, correct?
She was a bouncy, happy baby girl.
And did that help you change your way of life?
No.
Because it made you go into a deeper, darker, sunken place, correct?
Yep. I still continued the same shit I was doing. Um, Obviously not the fucking part because I just had a baby, so I wasn't doing all that. But um, just the other stuff, dancing and all the other stuff I had to do to survive.
How much grace have you given yourself?
More now than I did back then.
Mm-hmm. Well, clearly, because I know from getting in situations, you think you deserved that, so you continue on with some things to mask how you really feel as a self punishment. Yeah.
Yeah, that train knows what I'm talking about. He said,
Oh,
"Yeah."
that damn train runs at all day and all night. It's ridiculous. And what's crazy is that you pointed it out. I'm so used to hearing it that I didn't even hear it. That's how bad it is.
That's funny. It just sounded like when I was talking. He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah."
Do you,
So
I know we talked about this, was it the last time we did this? About celebrating instead of being sad that her life was taken, celebrating her life in the amount of time you had.
yeah, I plan on doing something. My daughter, well, my Serenity, my
Mm-hmm.
baby, my almost 4 year old, she's going to a sleepover tonight. Um,
Uh-oh.
so that gives me, their dad, and our son, just our little family time. And just to make an announcement and to break the fellas' hearts. I am back with my baby's father, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
So, so for all you niggas that were in the inbox,
I'm done with you.
um, unfortunately, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm good.
Um, don't hit up my line no more.
Question.
Um, yep.
After you get done curving all the people in your inbox messages,
Yes, ma'am.
have you talked to him in great lengths about how you feel about that period of time? Have y'all had a discussion at all?
We did actually a few days ago. Because my mother-in-law's birthday was on Friday,
Oh
and as
man.
you guys know, she passed away September of 2019. So yeah, we had that conversation because his mother's birthday is a few days before my daughter's. So we have that deep discussion. Um,
Mm-hmm. Do you feel better having that conversation? Like, are you still in the, well, clearly you're not in the ashamed part because you're sharing your story. But sometimes it is very hard to share. It's easier to share with people you don't know than it is to share with people that you know for fear of judgment. You don't care what anybody else thinks that don't know you, you know. But when it's someone that you hold true and dear, you know what I'm saying? Not that it's an shame, but I don't want you to look at me as like I'm pitiful, or I don't want you to pity me. Um, I personally admire the strength that it takes to go through that one traumatic thing, because some people would not be here talking about it. They would not have made it a day, a week, a month, a year. So the amount of strength that you have taken to put one foot in front of the other and thrive in life, and then have other children to love on, not to fill the void, but to love on, is something that you should be proud of, and realize how
Girl,
strong you are as a human being.
I'll be honest with you. I'm prouder than Penny, Oscar, Trudy, Sugar Mama all put together. Call me the prouder family.
I'm done with you.
No, seriously, to no to lose not just one child, because I've lost more than one, um, but my firstborn was the one that
Correction,
was.
because you didn't lose this baby. Someone murdered your child, and that's a difference. That
Yeah.
makes a difference in the wording and somewhat of the feeling, because somebody took your baby from you. Otherwise, she would still be with you to this day. And for them not to have been brought to justice is infuriating.
Yeah, see, so I'm gonna go ahead and just call out the two different police departments here. It's Aurora Police, that took care of that almost 15 years ago, and then Denver Police, here, Facebook user. Oh, thank you, whomever you are. I appreciate it. I apologize. It doesn't say who you are, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, well, let's just call it all police departments, because it's not just these two. It's a lot of them. Like, as you guys know, Miss Fatu lives in Texas. I'll have her say the city that she lives in, because that's she can say the city that she lives in. But just the different police departments out there, especially Houston PD. I don't know if they do like sham investigations or what, but I've seen so many cases.
In Houston, yes.
No, not just Houston, just
Across the,
Harris
it's the
County.
lifestyle. It's the people think that if you don't live up to what they deem a good lifestyle, then whatever happens to you happens, and it was supposed to happen. So why do we care to even investigate? And that's when
Okay.
I go back.
Yeah.
That's when I go back to the whole mentality of why I enjoy watching the real time, because it's people who actually give a fuck. It didn't matter. I've seen people who have been prostitutes have been murdered, or their child is missing, or lost, and there are detectives and police officers who are putting their all into finding out what happened to these children. But there are people out here that are subhumans out here that are in the place to help and bring closure and justice, and they do nothing because they feel like, I mean, that's just a black person, that's just a monkey, that's just a nigga, whatever it is. Even when you go beyond, because it's not just our race either. Anybody that falls behind, if they think they're in poverty, if they think they are deviants, whatever the case may be, if they deem you not important enough for their time, they are not going to help you. And then they justify it by saying there are no witnesses. Some of these cases that we talked about before, where people being cowardice about not coming forward, it could be because nobody actually asked them. Nobody took the time to look into it. Why should I say something? They don't care. Like it's a lot of that. I mean, it's just gang violence. So some gang person did it, they gonna kill each other the next day, or it's just some dope fiend. It's just whatever their excuse is, which is not really an excuse, it's just bullshit. And we're paying you to do nothing. Period. Bottom line, the end. There should have been no way that your daughter's case should be unsolved at this point in time, 15 years later. And along with other cases, it just doesn't make any sense, especially when all of the evidence is right there. What did you do? Did you just throw it away in the trash? Did you throw your notebook away? Or did you just go out to eat afterwards?
That's why I can't wait for us to start doing our investigations in these different places, because we're going to expose so much of that. So I'm going to speak to a case. As you guys know, I'm very close with Texas for whatever reason, other than Fatou and my sister being there. I have a lot of business with people down there, and it's an amazing thing. There was a case of a young man. His name was Anton Petway. And I apologize if I said that last name incorrectly. He was 17 and died of a fentanyl poisoning. The story makes me mad because the police didn't give a fuck about him. And neither did his so-called friends. They called his mom to tell him that he was just unconscious on the floor. Nobody was doing CPR. They just left him there. And then the police did an even worse investigation. You know how when somebody is passed out or something, you're not supposed to do like chest compressions on the bed. This is something completely different, but there was a different story where somebody had a fentanyl poisoning, and instead of giving them CPR on a hardwood surface, they gave the boy CPR on the bed, and he died. He was 15 in that story. But no, he was 16 in that story. But the 17-year-old I'm talking about, the police didn't even bother to investigate. That family is still waiting for justice. That boy died last year. 17 years old.
They're not going to. They just wrote it off. They don't even have the accurate numbers of how many people are actually being deceased due to fentanyl. They don't care. Because where are people getting it?
I just have a really big problem with people's lack of giving a fuck.
Hmm?
Why the fuck are we so fucking desensitized? Y'all about to hear me go on another, I'm about to probably rant. Why are we so fucking desensitized to other humans' plight? Oh, is it because it hasn't happened to you? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it hasn't happened to you, you can't feel nothing for another human, right? All right.
Or it has happened and I made it through, so they'll get through too. It's really fucked up. It's in a lot of, and when we watch TV, and it's in the TV shows, it's very disheartening. But the earth is ghetto.
Ghetto spinning rock.
Ghetto spinning ass rock.
So I'm actually gonna, because I did promise Miss Nikisha that I would premiere her commercial today.
Oh yeah.
So we're actually gonna take just a quick commercial break, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna maybe wrap this up. I don't know, because me and Fatou, we talk. So we will be back shortly. Bath and Body Care, empower, educate, and entertain. Sexual health and wellness. Shug's Empowering Nook by Miss Keisha. Mission statement by Miss Keisha herself. She is here to educate women about their sexual health and wellness while empowering them to explore their bodies and having a safe, fun place to assist with relationships. Products to help boost your immunity, products with CBD, And
We're Black.
my lips are black.
This is the second day that we've had a really good show.
So did.
Yesterday's show
And
was bomb.
it was. Facebook was, I'm going to call him Mark Zuckerberg. Because he was hating yesterday. I posted, we had, like I said, we had an amazing episode yesterday. But when I would check on it, it kept saying, live ended, video will be available soon. Even 9 hours later. I was just like, okay. But when I went to the, shout out to the STWF network, when I went to the TV network, it was on there with
Probably
no
because we were
glitching
talking
or
about
nothing.
holistic medicine, holistic herbs, and your body healing itself. That's a message that they don't want anybody to know about. They want you to stay, dependent upon big pharma and putting poison in your body to kill you.
Let me tell you something. The only big pharma I want is me and some suspenders growing my greens. Okay? That's the big pharma. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry. I remember when I had my I had a cancer scare as well. I had tumors on my colon that I had to get removed last year, and they thought it was cancer. So I was being seen by a cancer place and everything else. And I realized that healthy eating and herbs is really an important thing, which is why I can't wait to have Mama Earthify come back on here and talk more about that.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely get some more Dr. Sabi type folks on the show. Because I really want our people to be more educated in sea moss and herbs and even those other herbs, mushrooms, like, I'm just kidding. But I might not be kidding y'all. I might want to try that. But, just leading our people on a different path, because we are not on a good path. So what Black person, if I may ask my Black people, please listen to me and listen to me well. Who decided to eat? Who was the first Black person to eat chitlin? Look at her face.
Probably the people on the plantations, because they had to eat the scraps that the master and them wouldn't eat, and so that's what they ate for food. They ate scraps, and chitlins was one of the things that was there.
Now, see, I didn't know that. I was just trying to make a joke out of chitterlings. So I apologize for that.
But yeah, that's the beginnings of it. Yeah.
Okay, I learned something new today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. But if you guys are just tuning in, this is True Thing with Hanaia and Fatou, y'all. Had to skirt away from that because that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's and we have a show coming up where this type of conversation will come about. But people think that, especially, I need to send you that video where white people think that slavery was okay, and people enjoyed it, and they were being fed and housed and clothed, and some of the places that we had to live in and what we had to eat. It's very disgusting. And now, they have renovated them out, and they're Airbnbs now, of where people were tortured, raped, murdered, killed, and all the type of shit that was going on. But we'll talk about it. Yeah.
All right, y'all. You heard what she said. We're going to talk about that on another show. So please, 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 please make sure that you guys tune in On our next Sunday, which would be July 30th, we will have a few special guests on that episode.
I'm so excited.
I've already recruited a few. It's going to be an amazing episode. As you guys know, this is Minority Mental Health Month. So this is actually our mental health month. May is not our mental health month. And on that episode, we're going to bring in some brothers. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to have the Black men talk about their mental health. So we can encourage you other Black men to take care of yourselves, because we do love y'all. Like my kid's father is a Black man. Did y'all? I mean, look. Let me tell you something. I'm not knocking interracial relationships. Let's clarify that right now. I don't knock that. Me personally, it has to be brown to go to my town. So,
thank y'all for tuning in today.
yes.
Shit.
We will see y'all on that Sunday. This is Truthing with Hanaia Fatou. Talk to y'all later.
Bye, humans.